Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Director of Football Sabotage with Livorno. Now in today's episode we do have the final league game of this season, and of course we'll have all of our end of season roundup and all of our talks for next season. So the last time we met was the draw against Roma, which all but guaranteed our spot in the top 4 of Serie A this season. We followed that up with a 2-0 away win against Frosinone, mammoth getting both the goals in the 55th and the 74th minute. We then had a home tie against Sampdoria, which we won 3-2. Hugo Fernandez, Mate Solossi and Ziga getting the goals for us. Slobodan Fumic scored for Sampdoria. Of course, was on loan at us last season, and Alex Iwobi getting a goal as well. It was a good game this actually. I think we performed one of the best we have all season, strangely enough. It was just the fact that they got 2 incredibly good chances and scored the 2 goals, which made it quite close. We then went away from home and we played Bologna, who I believe were in 17th position, fighting for their lives to keep themselves in this division. We ended up drawing 1-1. Darian Schmidt getting the equaliser in the 44th minute for us, and what was a very even game. And finally, the last game before we played Napoli today was a 2-0 home win against Lazio. Mammarella getting a goal and Tristan Fick getting a goal in the 81st minute from left back. So this is how the league table stands after those run of fixtures. We are out of the title race, 6 points off Inter Milan at top, who are crowned champions. Juventus really did drop the ball a little bit late on in the season, but we can still finish second if we win today's game and Milan don't. So let's jump into today's game, the final game of the season. This is how we're going to line up. Jovanovic will start in goal, Belangioli, Vlad Paul and Marcel Simco will be in the defence alongside Tristan Fick. Carpanu is suspended for this game and we might have seen the very last game he'll ever play for us. Andrian will play in the defensive midfield spot. Solossi and Milenkovic will be in the centre of midfield. João Banga, Mammarella and Darian Schmidt will lead the line. I've been trying to give him a few games to see if he can prove himself going towards next season. And to be honest with you, he hasn't really done it for me. So the chances are he might not be here. So we'll kick off against Napoli, knowing we can finish second in the table if we do win and results go in our favour. But if we don't win and we don't get second, it's not the end of the world. 4th place is good enough for us to qualify for the Champions League, and that's all we're all about. First 20 minutes have been very quiet so far. We are dominating possession going by the match stats, which is fine by me. Napoli are in 6th position, I do believe, in the league, so they're not doing too badly themselves, and they've got some fantastic players of their own. 1 minute before half time and there is finally a highlight. Simco in the box. If that falls to one of our strikers or one of our attacking midfielders, I think that goes in the back of the net, but unfortunately it fell to our centre back. Highlight now, Alexandro down the left hand side for Napoli. 2 highlights in the space of 30 seconds towards the end of the first half, and so much space. He should be taken off real. That was absolutely shocking. You should be burying that and putting it away. Is there going to be another opportunity before half time? We had nothing before the 44th minute and now everything's coming. Belangioli down this right hand side. Some good work from Tristan Fick on the left. João Banga's on the edge of the box and he gets himself a goal. He's 7th of the season from attacking midfield and he puts us 1-0 up going into half time. Some good play from Fick cutting inside. Banga switches the play to Belangioli. It eventually falls to him after Konate gets rid for Napoli, and what a finish that was. Great. And there we are. We haven't been very clinical going forward. 12 shots and only 2 on target. But we do go in 1-0 up. Banga getting the goal. So we'll kick off for the second half. We haven't changed anything. We'll see how the second half goes. Highlight now. Milenkovic with the corner for us. Darian Schmidt's back post. And you would think he would put that in the back of the net. But actually looking at his stats, heading's quite low at 12. It's not absolutely ideal, but he was close. Milenkovic switches the play to the right hand side for Belangioli. Can he get another decent cross in? Zalossi back to Belangioli. We're playing it about nicely on the edge. Banga goes for the goal. That was never going in. With only 10 minutes to go, I've completely forgot to make any substitutions, so we'll see who we've got on the bench. Skirbeck, we're going to get on for Darian Schmidt. This might be the final time he gets some game time. Simo Claudio, his place at the club is not guaranteed for next season. Neither is Ivanovic at right back, so we'll get them on just in case we never see them again. But the chances are not all 3 of them are going to leave, but just in case I want to give them some game time. Highlight now, Ivanovic on this right hand side, decent crossing, Skirbeck's back post, and the 2 substitutes combine and get themselves on the scoreline and the assists for Ivanovic. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And that's the reason why we wanted Ivanovic to be trained as a right back, because he does have the attacking qualities to be able to put balls in like that. And Skirbeck He's had a rough season in terms of injuries, but he's come back, got himself a goal in what might be his final game for Livorno. And this looks like maybe the final highlight of the game. We're already 1 minute over the allotted time and injury time. And there it is, full time, Livorno 2, Napoli 0. An absolutely fantastic performance, a dominating performance against a really good Napoli side, and a great way to end the season. So I think that leaves us on 81 points going towards the end of the season. I think we got 80 last season, so 1 point better. Fantastic, 1 point better, come on. But this is how the final league table looks. Milan still have to play their game actually, so I'm not sure when that's happening. We'll have a quick check. But we are currently sitting in second, so the lowest we'll place is third. And there's the confirmation. Livorno confirmed best ever Serie A finish. Milan did end up drawing their final game, so we do finish second, only 4 points off Inter Milan, which is an absolutely fantastic set of results for us for this season. And just looking through the rest of it, obviously Champions League, knocked out in the group stage. We had an incredibly difficult group. It would have been an absolute miracle for us to qualify from a group that contained Man City and Barcelona. Knocked out in the second knockout round of the Europa League by Marseille was probably the lowest point of this season for me. Marseille, I thought, were a side that we could beat in terms of raw player-to-player attributes, but unfortunately we didn't. And getting to the last stages of a European competition, even if it's the Europa League, would have been great for us, but it's not to be. In the Italian Cup, we got knocked out in the semi-final. That really doesn't concern me anymore, and it won't be long before the board probably doesn't even care about the Italian Cup at all. So we get the record points total for Livorno in a season of 81 points and a record high of second place in Serie A compared to last season's third place. If we want to improve, there's only one way we can go. We do actually have one player in the team of the year, which I'm a little bit surprised about, because as you'll see when we go into the squad, our average ratings haven't actually been that incredible. But Mammarella gets in team of the year. Fantastic. So we're finally at the end of season awards at the 1st of June, and this is how things shaped up. Lucas Belangioli got fans player of the season with 34% of the votes. I am a little bit surprised by that, although he did play quite a lot of games for us due to Ivanovic's injury. I think it's got a lot to do with him being an icon at the club, so he's won fans player of the year. Stefan Carpanu came second, with Tristan Fick, our left back, coming third. We'll have a check of Hugo Fernandez's goal against Chievo shortly. Mammarella was signing of the season for £10 million from Palermo, and I would tend to agree with that. He definitely has been one of the best players we signed. And Ivanovic, the right back, who unfortunately got injured for a large part of the season, he got Young Player of the Season. And this is the goal of the season for us. It was Hugo Fernandez with the strike. I'm not sure I can even remember this, but he's a long way out here, and what a fantastic strike that was. Our season review, Livorno were expected to qualify for the Europa League, but we have exceeded expectations and qualified for the Champions League. Moment to forget, the 4-0 defeat against Juventus away from home, but moment to remember was a 3-0 win away from home against Roma. So going into next season, I'm going to tell them we're expected to qualify for the Champions League, and they have reacted quite well with that. I was a little bit worried that they might react poorly and expect us only to get Europa League, but they are accepting that we are a Champions League side now, so that's all good for me. So thinking about the squad in terms of next season and how we might line up, it wasn't a great season in terms of average ratings. Not many players got above a 7, and I fully take that on board. I think it's a lot to do with the formation we play and the tactics I deploy. That's not getting the best out of the players currently, so that's something to look for in terms of next season going forward to try and improve. Our top goal scorer was Mammarella, getting 19 goals and 34 starts. Zach played okay as well, 15 goals and 42 starts, but that's another area where I will try and look to improve in terms of getting our strikers to be more efficient in terms of scoring goals. So looking forward to next season, what do I want? What do I want to achieve? So Jovanovic, he is a decent goalkeeper, 21 years old, but he's currently our only recognised goalkeeper, and I'm thinking maybe going into next season, not looking at youngsters or anything like that, trying to get the finished article in to really, really improve our first 11. So you can definitely expect to see a major signing in goal going forward to next season. Now, one of my dilemmas at right back, we've got Ivanovic, who is a 3-star, 4-star player currently. He is still learning the trade at right back. He's still got poor defensive qualities, but excellent attacking qualities. He has been injured for a large part of this season, a lot of injuries. So what we're talking, 2 months, 2 weeks, and that's pretty much it. So he's missed quite a lot of football, and that's I'm not too sure. He played the best out of anyone in our starting 11, and I'm considering getting rid of him, to be honest with you. If we can find someone who's a natural at right back, who is quite attacking while still having the defensive capabilities as well, it might be something I'll look towards. But Belangiwali will probably never leave the club. He is an icon at the club. The fans absolutely love him, and I might get lynched in the street if I decide to sell him. In terms of left back, we have Tristan Fick, and this might be another area similar to the goalkeeper situation where he's a young boy, he's decently well rounded, but if I can find that sort of next level player, even if they're not young and have no potential, if I can find the next level player, I will bring them in. I will have to bring in a left back in anyway, because I think Ruben Canedo, for as well rounded as his stats are, I think he just needs to move on. At centre back, we have the major issue. Carpanu's contract expires next season, and he's currently not interested in discussing a contract with me, and he's fully focused on the World Cup and won't discuss a contract till after that point. But to be honest with you, all the excuses have come out from him. You know, the squad doesn't match my ambitions, I'm not happy here, all that sort of stuff. So it's highly unlikely I will be able to get this boy tied down to another contract. So the likelihood is he will actually, I can pretty much guarantee, if he's not going to sign a contract, he's leaving the club this summer. I'm not keeping him for another year just to lose him on a free. No chance. Thankfully, I have got my eye on a new centre-back. If Carpanu does leave, I've got my eye on a Dutch centre-back where I'll quickly show you now. So this is the guy I've got my eye on. He's currently on loan at Borussia Mönchengladbach from Ajax, but I think he looks absolutely stupendous, and he gives us a little bit something different at centre-back to what we normally have. You know, we've got very pacey centre-backs in Moise Vlad-Paul and Carpanu, whereas this guy, pace is not the major concern with him, but he's very gifted mentally, and that's one of the key reasons why I want him. He's still only 22 years old as well, but if we can get him for a reasonable sum, I'm going to go for it. Looking forward to midfield, we are quite well placed in midfield, I would say. Stoichev is our defensive midfielder, Milenkovic and Solossi as our central midfielders. We've got Crociati as well, our Italian, who I'm going to continue to try and give as much game time to. Hugo Fernandez is a decent little backup option, but I think he might end up finding himself moving on if I can find maybe an Italian or someone absolutely stupendous in that place. In terms of formation changes for next season, the most likelihood of which will be the attacking midfielder completely removed for either a central midfielder or a striker or a winger or something. You know, the attacking midfielders, as you can see, 37 games for Banga, 6.81, 7 goals, 1 assist. Claudio, 14 games with 15 off the bench, 4 goals and 2 assists. They don't get involved enough in the match. And obviously a lot of that will be down to me and how the formation plays. But I've tried them in everything. Attacking midfielders, advanced playmakers, shadow strikers and gauches. Everything's been tried and I can't get them working. So I'll say it depends on who we sign, really. Striking wise, we are quite set with Mammarella. I think Zach will be in and around the squad, whether that's a starter or not. Ziga, I might take off the loan list and just keep him at the club and try and give as much game time as possible. But in terms of Patrice, Darian Schmidt, one of the players I was most excited to sign him. Maybe I got a little bit carried away because it was a free signing, but he's been incredibly poor this year. Like, he hasn't developed at all in the 1.5, 2 years he's been at the club. He's on one of the most wages at 50 grand per week. I will be looking to move this boy on and bring somebody else in. So I think we've got a busy summer ahead of us. Goalkeeper is an absolute must. I think left back is an absolute must. And depending on what happens with Ivanovic, a right back might be an absolute must. Central midfield, maybe a little dab in here or there, but not a must by any means. We need to figure out what we want to do with the attacking midfield role. And a striker is probably a must if Darian Schmidt leaves the club. So obviously our best season in Serie A, I think in terms of moving forward, we just need to, it's just the little things that we need to improve. You know, I think getting a really, really quality goalkeeper will probably save us a lot next season. As you can see by the 5 games we've lost, they were all against teams in the top 4. So we lost twice against Inter, who finished top. We lost once against Juventus, who finished 3rd, and once against Milan. Oh, twice against Juventus, sorry, and once against Milan, who finished 4th. So we're not slipping up against the teams below us, but we're not competing against the teams around us. So I think getting a little bit of extra quality in the key areas, particularly goalkeeper, will definitely see us have a better season. We are going to lose Carpanu this summer, one way or another, I think. And he obviously is one of the best centre-backs in the world for me. Absolutely fantastic. But if we're to get, let's say, 50, 60 million pounds from it, of course, as you remember, our director of football is in charge of outgoings, so he might end up going for 30. If my director of football accepts it, I've just got to roll with it. I think he is wanted by a lot of the big boys. Wolves are a big boy, apparently, Real Madrid and Liverpool, so he'll probably end up going to one of them. But I think that Dutch guy will slot back in the team nicely, and I think he would fit us well. And obviously, throughout the summer transfer period, any of our players could leave. Director of football could just accept an offer, and that could be the end of them. But we'll see what happens, and we'll see who leaves and who stays. But anyway, if you have enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like and get yourself subscribed for the next season. But until next time, take it easy.